2 years, Justin Verlander is truly the king of the hill.
A's are fired up, so are their fans.
This team has come back all year long.
Westbrook sent it into right field, a base hit, and the Oakland A's will live another day. The Bay Area teams were down 0-2 in their series, but earlier today, the Giants were able to win their part of the ALDS and move on to the National League Championship Series with their win against the Cincinnati Reds. Tonight, the Oakland A's are trying to do the same thing at O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California, as we get ready for Game 5, the American League Division Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Buck Martinez. Jamie Maggio will join us in a bit. Well, this Oakland A's team, 14 walk-off wins during the regular season, and they did it again last night in Game 4. Coco Crisp getting the job done. He's been a big part of this series in every game.
Well, he sure has, and he got the series off started with a first-inning home run off tonight's starter, Justin Verlander. But it was a doubter in Game 2 when he dropped a pop-up that led to 2 Tiger runs. He got the crowd back into it immediately with a great catch to Rob Princefield of a home run, and then last night he capped it off. His 4th walk-off hit of the season pushed to this Game 5.
Well, the Tigers have lost the first 2 games of this series, but they have to feel good about the fact they have one of the game's best pitchers, if not the best pitcher on the mound tonight.
Yeah, Justin Verlander is a big game pitcher. He loves this atmosphere. In Game 1, he had a little bit of a problem getting into the ball game early. You can see Stephen Drew hit a double and then just single off the bat of Pennington, but he was out of sync. He got his pitching coach's advice and really sorted things out from this point forward. 5 straight strikeouts in the 6th and 7th. Verlander was pitching on 7 days rest. Tonight he's on normal rest, and I expect much quicker adjustments from Verlander.
Jared Parker makes his 2nd start of the series for the A's. This series has turned into a 1-game playoff. The team moves on to the ALCS, and it's next from Oakland.
The League Division Series on TBS is brought to you by Miller 64. Returning to fitness with beer as my witness. By Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? By Chevrolet. Proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. And by Viagra.
We welcome you back to O.Co Coliseum. Conditions 56 degrees with a breeze from the west at 16 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, and it is cloud covered here tonight, and that's what they're planning on for the rest of the night. With Justin Verlander on the mound tonight for the Tigers. As this park is abuzz, we send it downstairs to Jamie Maggio.
All right, thank you, Don. You know, there's only a handful of aces in baseball. Justin Verlander is certainly one of them. He's won his last 5 starts, posting a .77 ERA. Now, Buck, you talked about what Verlander did in Game 1. Justin said he has the same feeling now as he did then in terms of responsibility. His mentality is not changing, and he's not going to try to do anything more than what he's done all season long. Also, as for the Tigers as a whole, remember, they've been in this spot before. Last season, Game 5 of the ALDS on the road in a hostile environment. They went on to beat the Yankees. Guys?
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. As the Detroit Tigers dropping the last 2 games of this series as they get ready to take on Jared Parker. Let's take a look at the Detroit Tigers starting lineup tonight from Oakland. It is Austin Jackson leading it off again at center field. Quentin Berry in left field bats second. Miguel Cabrera at third base. Prince Fielder at first base in the cleanup spot with Delman Young, the DH. Andy Dirks is in right field. Johnny Peralta at shortstop. Alex Avila does the catching, batting eighth. And Omar Infante at second base bats ninth. Jared Parker getting his 2nd start of the postseason, ready to go tonight for the Oakland A's.
Same pitching matchup we had in Game 1, and Parker went 6 1/3 in that ball game. Gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, just 2 earned runs for the season. He made 29 starts, and he has really developed over the course of the season. At this point, Bob Melvin has said that Parker and Malone, both with 13 wins this year, are not rookies. They have pitched in big ball games, and certainly his second opportunity to pitch in the postseason. Jared Parker should be on his game tonight. Important for Parker to keep the collar on. Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera have combined for 1 RBI. He needs to stay aggressive against them, and he will attack with his sinker. A very aggressive young pitcher that will go right at these Tiger hitters tonight.
Austin Jackson ready to get it started tonight. Look at his numbers so far in the ALDS. So he is 3 for 15 so far. Jared Parker ready to work here in front of his home fans. Here is pitch number 1 of game 5. That's fouled off. We're underway.
See how that ball moved way off the plate inside, but Parker loves that sinking fastball. He's got a lot of life on that pitch, and he's going to attack these hitters and try to get to a point where he can use a devastating changeup.
At age 23, he's the youngest pitcher to start a decisive postseason game since Jared Wright started 2 such games for the Indians at the age of 21. There's the change as it is strike 2, 0-2. This Oakland A's crowd has been a big factor in this series. Ever since this series shifted to California. Here's an 0-2 and a swing and a miss. Jared Parker strikes out Austin Jackson, 1 down.
Parker got that good changeup for the strikeout. Take a look at the defense, and we talked about this outfield defense. Cespedes, Crisp, and Reddick, they're all terrific outfielders, and we have seen Coco Crisp make a couple of circus catches in this series. Up the middle, sure hands, Stephen Drew and Cliff Pennington. And Pennington's done a great job since moving from short to second. Josh Donaldson, a terrific play at third base last night. Moss is the first baseman, and the rookie Derek Norris behind the plate.
1 down for Quentin Berry, the speedster, as he takes a look at ball 1. Berry's gone 2 for 7 so far in the series. See his numbers from the regular season. Slides into the 2 spot. Lifts it in the air down the left field line. Cespedes on the run, but it'll land harmlessly in foul ground. And evens the count at 1-1. Berry fractured the bat, so he gets a new one.
It's been a real problem for Jim Leyland, the fact that they've not been able to get the top 2 in the order on base ahead of Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder. Leyland feels like the pitchers for Oakland will attack differently with runners on base, and so far they've done a great job of keeping the top 2 off the bases.
Berry takes the 1-1 for ball 2. On deck, Miguel Cabrera. As the Tigers bat here in the first inning. Berry will lift it out towards left center field. This ball is headed towards the gap and will get down. One hops the wall. Back there is Cripps to play it, but into second base with a 1-out double goes Quentin Berry. So now there is a guy on ahead of Cabrera and Fielder. It is Berry with a 1-out double to the gap in left center.
Quentin Berry had 10 doubles during the regular season. He stays on this fastball down and away and drives it to the gap. It looked like Crisp was going to have a shot to make a catch, but the ball kept slicing away from the center fielder. Lands safely and then bounces up off the wall, and that's a big hit for the Tigers early in this game. Coco thought about leaving his feet, but he just wasn't close enough to make a dive for that ball. And he plays it off the wall. It's a 1-out double for Quentin.
So Berry at second base for Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera grounds it foul, down 0-1. He is 5 for 16 in this American League Division Series. After a .330 average during the regular season, 44 home runs and 139 runs batted in.
But the big number on that graphic was 0 RBIs. They need production from Cabrera and Fielder tonight.
Outfield playing very deep for the Oakland A's, and Coco Crisp, the center fielder, is shaded towards right center. For Cabrera to perhaps go the other way. Big gap out in left center field. Provided for the Triple Crown winner. And 4 for 11 with the base is empty. Runners on, 1 for 5, but again there have not been many on. It's been a problem for the Tigers. On the ground left side, Drew it short, looks the runner back. His throw is in time. 2 outs in the first inning, no advance for Quentin Berry.
You can see how smoothly Drew fielded that ball, and he knew he had plenty of time with Cabrera running up the first baseline. Very patient, very confident, and he's really tightened up this inner defense for the Athletic. Takes a nice route to the ball, rounds the baseball, looks the runner back at second, and then calmly throws across the diamond. He's really stabilized the defense for the Athletics at short.
The Tigers 5 for 24 in the series with runners in scoring position. Miguel Cabrera individually is 0 for 3. And now Prince Fielder stands to the plate, a 188 average in the ALDS. He came to life here last night, finally, for the Tigers. Had a couple of big hits after he was robbed of a couple of hits in the first game, including a home run by Coco Crisp. Fielder takes strike 1. 93 from Parker.
He didn't like the call. Wally Bell behind the plate, and Fielder thought it might have been low. This is that sinking fastball down around the knees, and Parker made a perfect pitch for strike 1. Just catching the outside edge.
Fielder lunges after that, and he's down 0-2.
That's a great changeup. Parker has a tremendous amount of confidence that he can throw that changeup on any pitch, and it's got a late run down and away.
Fielder chops it towards third. Donaldson will play the hop. Throw is good, and the inning is over. Parker's through the top of the first. The A's are coming up in Game 5. Tigers don't score in the top of the first. A's coming up here in the bottom of the first. Here's how their starting 9 looks tonight. Coco Crisp in center field leads it off with Stephen Drew at shortstop. Yoenis Cespedes in left field. Seth Smith, the DH. Josh Reddick in right field. And it's Josh Donaldson at third base. Brandon Moss at first base bats out of the 7th spot. Derek Norris does the catching. He's 8th. And Cliff Pennington at second base rounds out the starting 9 for Bob Melvin. The season rests on the shoulders of Justin Verlander for the Detroit Tigers tonight.
This is his first opportunity to wrap up a playoff series. 33 starts in the regular season, a 17-8 record, a very good ERA at 2.64. And he's all about overpowering hitters. He's got a great fastball. That's what helped him strike out 239 during the regular season. Verlander will make his 10th postseason start here tonight. He's 4-3 during those previous 9 games.
Jim Leyland told us before the game, ignore the pitch count situation. He's going to be in there.
Verlander is on normal rest. In game 1, he was pitching on 7 days rest. It took him a while to get into the ball game. Quicker adjustments tonight. He had a problem mechanically through the first 5 innings of his start in game 1, adjusted and came out smoking in the 6th. He struck out 5 straight Athletics in the 6th and 7th.
Coco Crisp leads it off and takes strike 1. And Verlander giving up 16 runs in the first inning in the regular season and 16 extra base hits. He's allowed 1 run, and that was Coco's home run in game 1. Home run, 2 RBIs, and a 222 average in the ALDS right now for Crisp. But the big hit last night. Coco 4 for 18 in the series as he takes a pitch outside.
Well, we had talked about Coco Crisp in the opening, hitting the home run in game 1, dropping the ball in game 2, taking a home run away from Fielder in game 3, and then winning game 4 with a walk-off hit off Jose Valverde. He has truly had the entire roller coaster of emotions through the first 4 games.
Swing and a miss, and he's down 1-2. Well, he has been involved in a big way in every game in this series. And leading it off here.
He's had a lot of success against Verlander, including a home run, of course, that came in game 1 in his first at bat of this series. So far, Verlander hasn't had to throw him a strike.
Crisp thought about it, lays off, and the 94-mile-an-hour fastball is also away. He's allowed a first-inning run in 5 of his last 9 career postseason starts. And trying to prevent that from happening tonight. Crisp will foul it off.
Jim Leyland talked about that earlier with us in the clubhouse, and he said, I'm a little concerned about the first inning. Justin understands the importance of this game, and sometimes he gets a little overamped. He said this first inning is going to be pivotal for him, and he feels that once he gets through the first inning, he'll be fine.
Crisp will strike out.
Well, Verlander starts the same way as Jared Parker, striking out the first batter he faced. Defensively, the Tigers have played well. They've committed just 1 error in this series. Quentin Berry, Austin Jackson, and Andy Dirks in the outfield. They cover a lot of ground. On the infield, Peralta and Infante don't have the range of the Athletics, but they're sure-handed with strong arms. Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder at the corners, and Alex Avila is behind the plate for Justin Verlander.
1 out for Stephen Drew. 4 for 15 so far in the American League Division Series. As he takes ball 1. But conversely, on the other side here for the Oakland A's, they have got to try to get to Verlander early in this game, because if they don't, they know full well he can settle in.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. They've done a good job the last 2 times they've faced him by elevating that pitch count. But as Bob Melvin told us earlier, he said the pitch count can get elevated, but he's still going to throw 125 to 135 pitches if needed. Tilly Davis, the hitting coach for the Athletics, has reminded his hitters, hey, just get a good pitch to hit.
Swing and a miss there for Drew. All geared up, 2-0, and it's 2-1.
Verlander would love to keep this crowd at this level right here. They are not into the game just yet, and if he has a good first inning, he's going to be able to keep them out of it for a while.
Drew fouled off and even it up now at 2-2.
Oakland has played so well here in this ballpark. They've won 20 of their last 25 games, including 8 straight.
Finished the regular season by winning the final 6 straight games, and the 2 here in this division series leading to tonight's game 5. Swing and a miss, elevates at 96, and chasing it is Stephen Drew. Back-to-back Ks to open up the night for Justin Verlander.
I don't throw around the term ace very often. Everybody has a number 1, but not everybody has an ace, and Verlander is an ace. He can set the tone for this ball game as he does right here and blows that fastball right by Stephen Drew. We talk about the Hallidays, the Weavers, Cliff Lee, CC Sabathia, Justin Verlander. It's an elite group.
Talk about a tough combination too. You're talking about an Oakland A's team that led the league in strikeouts, facing the pitcher who led the league in strikeouts with 239 during the regular season. He has 2 strikeouts to start tonight's game 5 as Yoenis Cespedes will line one towards left center. That'll get down. Austin Jackson over to play on the backhand. Cespedes thinking 2. Throw to second, and he's going to be close. He didn't slide, but he gets in safely. He elected not to slide, which made it closer. But the tag from Infante is tardy, and it's a 2-out double for Cespedes.
What a good-looking young player. Yoenis Cespedes jumps on the first pitch fastball. It's up about belt high, and he drills it in the gap. Austin Jackson gets over and cuts it off, but with 2 outs, it's a good gamble for Cespedes, and the throw is wide of the mark, and he goes in standing up.
So 2 down. And into scoring position is Cespedes for Seth Smith. He slides into the 4 spot, and why not? He's had a very good series and got big hits, even though he is 2 for 11. He's got a home run and 3 runs batted in, all timely in this series. And a check swing grounder back to Verlander. He'll field and throw. And that will end the first inning. They leave Cespedes at second base. Done with 1 in game 5. No score from Oakland. Tigers and Athletics fans follow their teams with the Team Stream app. Download Team Stream. Choose your teams and you're set. Get Team Stream from Bleacher Report today. We'll get ready for the second inning and a long conversation here between innings.
Yeah, and this is just comparing notes after that first inning. Cespedes got a double on a first pitch fastball, and they're probably trying to sort out their thoughts a little bit. He would come back with a first pitch changeup to Seth Smith, get him out easily on the comebacker, but they sat down and had an extended meeting in the clubhouse earlier this afternoon to go over these hitters, but they just check in with one another throughout the course of the game.
Delman Young stands in and takes strike 1. DH for the Tigers, 3 for 13 in the series. Jared Parker at a 12-pitch first inning as this is in the air down the left field line. And the third baseman Donaldson calling and catching the first out of the inning. Standing in foul ground takes care of Delman Young.
This infield for Oakland has really played well, and they have made some spectacular plays on hard hit balls. Josh Donaldson made 71 starts at third base, and he has looked very comfortable and confident at third.
So 1 down here in the second. 3 in a row retired by Jared Parker. Here's Andy Dirks, who is 4 for 13 during the postseason so far. There's strike 1 to Andy Dirks.
Dirks is 3 for 6 against Jared Parker. And Parker, the one thing I really like about him, it doesn't matter if he's facing lefties or righties. Batting average is almost identical. He's got a lot of different weapons to attack both lefties and righties.
How much do you think game 1 helps to have under his belt?
No, it's immeasurable. To have the hype and the excitement and to be able to quell the butterflies with 1 start already under your belt. This is much more like a regular season game for him tonight.
0-2 is up the middle, ranging is Pennington on the backhand. His throw not in time. Nice rangy play turned in by Pennington, but beating it out was Andy Dirks on a close play at first. Remember, Pennington was a shortstop.
Well, Pennington's got a strong arm, but Dirks has good speed. And watch where this ball is caught. It's a 1-hopper back up the middle, and looked like he slipped initially, but then he throws behind the bag, still gets a lot on it, but Dirks outruns the throw. He has really done a nice job transitioning from short to second, and that's not an easy thing to do. You'll talk to a lot of shortstops that can't make that transition over across the bag to second.
1 down, Dirks at first base on a very close play, and this is to center field off the bat. A Peralta to right at Crisp for out number 2. Let's get another look at this, Buck. He may have been out at first base.
Well, take a look at it as you look at the stretch by Moss, and boy, it is close. It looked like his foot was still in the air before it came down on the bag. Scott Berry, the first base umpire, he goes by the benefit of the ball in the glove, the sound that makes, and then the thump of the foot hard onto that base.
So Dirks may be fortunate to be at first base, but he is with 2 down. And Alex Avila, the batter. 3 for 8 so far in the series. Tigers have had a base runner in every inning so far.
Avila hit the home run off Parker to lead off the 5th in game 1. And opposite field, the home run. He's a very good low ball hitter and covers the plate across the plate down around the knees very well.
Runner goes at first. Avila takes the strike and the throw. is not going to be in time. Stolen base for Andy Dirks at second base. Jim Reynolds took a good long look before making the call.
Dirks only had 2 steals during the regular season. Peeks over his left shoulder. And you can see Drew never really got the ball in his glove. It's a changeup. And then the rushed throw by Noah skips off the wet grass here. It's so cool and damp, and that ball skipped and handcuffed Drew at second. But it was a perfect pitch to run on, as it was a changeup, and Norris didn't have much of a shot throwing out Dirks.
Second straight inning, the Tigers have had a runner in scoring position. They left Quentin Berry at second base in the first inning. Alex Avila trying to bounce back after a quiet postseason last year. He was 3 for 41 in the postseason last year for the Tigers. They had just 1 extra base hit, home run in the American League Championship Series, 16 strikeouts and 41 postseason at bats a year ago as he takes a pitch outside.
It's pretty easy to have an ugly batting average in the postseason because of the pitchers you're facing. Oftentimes they'll take their number 5 starter and put him in the bullpen. You won't even see him, so you're seeing nothing but the best during the postseason, and there are an awful lot of ugly averages.
This postseason so far 3 for 8 for Avila. Sliced foul off to the left, and it's 2-2. '29 regular season starts for Parker. He was 13-8. Whole new ball game here in the postseason. Got to be very comfortable on this Coliseum mound tonight with this crowd roaring again. Two pitch to Avila. Fouled off again.
With a runner at second base, it's time to remind you what great throwers the A's have in the corner outfield positions. Cespedes in left field has 9 outfield assists. He can really throw, and he's very accurate. In right field, Josh Reddick was 3rd in the American League in outfield assists with 15. Only Jeff Francoeur and Alex Gordon of the Royals had more outfield assists than Reddick.
Andy Dirks at second base with 2 outs here in the Tigers' second inning. Swing and a miss. Parker picks up his second K and wraps up the top of the second in the process. We are scoreless from the Coliseum in Game 5. Scoreless as we get ready for the bottom of the second inning. I want to remind you to play TBS Social Dugout, presented by Samsung Galaxy S3. Predict the plays before they happen. Score points. Compete against your friends and earn rewards. Download the app by visiting tbs.com/social dugout. We play on to the bottom of the second inning back at the Coliseum, and Bob Melvin very much enjoys having his team play here at the Coliseum, where they have enjoyed so much success this season. Again, at home, they had 50 wins during the regular season. They won both their postseason games here so far, and they're trying to win this series at their home park tonight.
Yeah, and it's a very raucous crowd, and Bob Melvin has said several times during the course of the season that this crowd reacts as if it's twice the size of the actual crowd. They're loud, they get into it, they really support their favorite players, and the club has responded very well.
There is Josh Reddick to begin things here in the bottom of the second inning. Reddick takes strike 1. 13 first inning pitches for Justin Verlander. Had 2 strikeouts as he struck out Chris Drew to begin his night. And the first inning was important according to Jim Leland. He had a good one, and Reddick starts the second, and that's strike 2.
Yeah, and you can see Wally Bell is giving Verlander that outside pitch, and this was a problem for Oakland in Game 1. Verlander got several favorable calls, especially on the outside part of the plate to left-handed batters.
He's ahead 0-2, and neither of those pitches show up as strikes. This one is sent foul down the left field line. That makes it so much tougher for Oakland hitters. If he's going to get that all night, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it sure will be, and we have seen the Oakland hitters respond to the umpires and say, you know what, Verlander doesn't need any help. You can call strikes that are over the plate, and don't give him that pitch that runs off the plate down and away. He's tough enough.
through 26 first inning pitches in game 1. Only 13 in the first inning this game, and look where all those pitches are.
And you can see that Reddick is aware that he's got to protect that outside corner, even off the corner about 4 inches. That's a tough way to hit.
It's 2 for 14 in the series. Foul to the screen.
Now I was waiting for Avila to come inside. He could tell that Reddick is leaning out over the plate, trying to cover that outside corner. And it's imperative that Avila stays aware when those hitters start to lean outside, that he straightens them up with an inside pitch.
Avila caught Verlander 23 times during the regular season. That is just outside. And if you're Reddick right now, you're not entirely sure what to take and what to foul off or try to get a piece of. Going back outside with a 1-2, and that's strike 3. So he gets the call again, and Reddick walks away shaking his head, and you'll see why when you see where this pitch ended up.
Yeah, and they set up on that outside corner, and Avila does a good job of receiving the ball, but you can see that it's probably off the plate. Wally Bell consistently called that pitch a strike throughout the entire Reddick at bat.
Well, the breakdown so far for Verlander, 15 strikes to 5 balls. Similar on the other side for Jared Parker. So 24 pitches and 20 for strikes. Here's Josh Donaldson with 1 out here in the second inning. Donaldson takes strike 1. We made a terrific play at third base in last night's game, and part of the reason the Oakland A's were able to keep it a 2-run deficit going into the 9th inning was his great play that ended up taking him into foul ground and threw it all the way across the diamond to keep the A's within reach, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, Donaldson played third base in college at Auburn University. He played there for 3 years at third, and then when he signed into pro ball with the Cubs, they moved him behind the plate. He has been a third baseman. He said over the last several years in the minors, he's played about 50 games at third, but they needed his presence at third, and he's done a nice job stepping in for Brandon Inge.
Well, the play we were talking about last night, remarkable as he makes the grab and from one knee in foul ground throws it all the way across the diamond.
And came in the 7th inning off Johnny Peralta. Jerry Blevins was on the mound, and he did a great job of gloving it initially, keeping Peralta from making a bid for an extra base hit, and then throwing from his knees to throw him out at first.
1-2 from Verlander. There's a pop-up right side. Infante will duck back to the short line and right and make the catch for the second out of the second inning. So 2-away, and that'll take us to Brandon Moss. Drop down on the order a bit. He'll bat 7th tonight. He's 1 for 13 in the series, and it's sort of been all or nothing for Brandon Moss. Takes some healthy cuts, and if he can make contact, it's going to go a long way. The contact part's been the tough part so far in the series.
It sure has. 21 home runs during the regular season in just 84 games, so he's got a lot of pop in that bat, but right now he's not been able to make much contact.
Look from behind the catcher is to see what the batter gets a look at when dealing with Verlander. Moss with a swing and a foul.
That's a great changeup. He, like Parker, has a very good changeup, and Verlander has developed that pitch where he will throw it any time. You see the radar ratings 95, 96 early. You get geared up for the fastball, and then he drops that good change on you.
The Moss wanted time, didn't get it, and the 1-1 is going to miss. Just 42 at bats for Moss, batting 7th during the regular season for the Athletics. Did have 4 home runs from the 7 spot, but hit at .214 during the regular season. That's 7th tonight in Game 5 of the ALDS. Swing and a miss. Tardy on the fastball.
Good separation between the changeup and the fastball. The changeup he threw to Moss in this at bat was 85. And the fastball he just swung and missed was 95. Excellent separation.
Outside for ball 3. Reach back for a little extra at 97.
Yeah, it never hurts to have that in reserve. I need a little extra. He has touched 100 this season.
Derek Norris waiting on deck, the catcher for the A's. That is ball 4, and the A's have a base runner with 2 down in the second. First walk allowed by Verlander. It comes with 2 down here in the second inning. We talked to Jim Leyland about the appearance of the All-Star game as he started the All-Star game in Kansas City, and that was just an aberration. He was trying to throw 100 miles an hour in that game. And right out of the gate had a very bad outing, and it was certainly un-Justin Verlander-like.
Yeah, we asked Jim Leyland about that, and he said, how might that compare to him being amped up tonight? He said, don't even think about that. He was just trying to show the world he could throw 100.
1 for 10 is Derek Norris. His fielder holds on Moss at first. That'll bounce, and losing it is Avila. Heading for second base is Moss, and he will be out. Took off aggressively to second, trying to take advantage of a ball in the dirt, but Avila gets it to second and guns down Moss. We're through 2. No score from the Coliseum.
Top of the 3rd in Oakland. It's a scoreless ball game. Alex Avila, the catcher, did a nice job of blocking the curveball initially, then locating it quickly and making a strong throw to Infante at second, at which the tag on Brandon Moss. Not a bad gamble by Moss. Obviously, with Verlander in the ball game, you're not going to get too many opportunities. And with 2 outs, it's a pretty good time to take a break. Avila got on it quickly and made a strong throw to second to end the inning. But Moss did a pretty good job. It was a breaking ball in the dirt. He read it well, but Avila made a strong throw.
So here we go into inning number 3, and it's Omar Infante, number 9 man for the Tigers, to lead it off. 4 for 14 during the postseason so far. 9-1-2 for the Tigers here in the 3rd inning. As Infante backed out. Jared Parker again, 24 pitches for the first 2 innings, 20 for strikes. As he deals with ball 1. 2 strikeouts for Parker through the first 2 innings. Tigers left a base runner at second in the first, left a base runner at second in the second, and continue to have trouble with runners in scoring position. They just cannot get that big hit. There's a base hit to left field in front of Cespedes. Omar Infante has got a base hit, and the lead runner on for the first time tonight for the Tigers.
Ball was up in the zone, and Infante didn't miss it. Watch the target, and then you see the pitch up out over the plate, and Infante is aboard at the fastball. Just never really got down in the zone where Norris wanted it. About belt high with the fastball, and look at Infante's head right on the pitch.
There's Austin Jackson, who struck out in the first inning. First to check on Infante at first base. Austin Jackson, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Jackson takes strike 1 over the outside corner.
Parker had 21 stolen bases against him in 27 attempts. He hasn't really refined that part of his game yet. But a good way to diffuse a stolen base situation is to throw strike 1. Base runner at first has 1 pitch already taken away from him.
Jackson with a swing and a miss. We mentioned he struck out in the first. He's down 0-2 here. He strikes out a lot. 485 career strikeouts in 441 games played. Finished first in the American League in 2010 and second in the American League in 2011 in strikeouts. So it's something that he does with regularity. Pitch is high, and it's 1-2.
Parker struck out Jackson in the first inning with a changeup. And as we mentioned, he will use that changeup any time. It's a swing and a miss changeup. There's no question about it. The bottom drops out of it.
Check on first, and back to the bag is Infante.
You saw the flip of the thumb. That generally means I want you to throw over. Check in on Infante, who's a good base runner. He's 7 for 9 in steals and attempts this year.
In the dirt, Norris couldn't find it, trying for second as Infante. His throw is late, and Infante takes second. So Norris not able to come up with it as quickly as Avila did in the bottom half of the second inning.
Well, and Norris actually got a break. This ball goes underneath his glove and hits the umpire Wally Bell's shin guard and stays right close to home plate. But watch how the ball goes underneath the glove and hit the umpire and stayed right at the catcher's feet, but he can't make a strong throw like Avila did. That ball was headed for the backstop, but Wally Bell knocked it down with his shin guard, and Infante took advantage of it.
Ruled a wild pitch. It gets Infante to second. 2-2. Fly ball to center field. Crisp goes back towards the warning track, and that ball will one-hop the wall. Around from second base comes Infante. It'll be an RBI double for Austin Jackson, and the Tigers strike first on top 1-0. That ball quickly got out to left center field as Crisp tracks it down after it hits the wall, and there's a big hit for Austin Jackson to drive in a run.
This is a slider that's down in a pretty good spot, and he really hit this ball hard. Initially, it looked like Crisp was going to have a chance to make a catch on it, but the ball took off. One hops the fence. Infante easily scores from second, and that's the first hit with a runner in scoring position for the Tigers tonight. Had been 0 for 3 prior to Jackson's hit.
Well, Jackson had a career-high 66 RBIs in 2012. He drives in a run here in the postseason. Now bunt bid from third base. Donaldson will fire to first, and a sacrifice that gets Austin Jackson to third base as Barry gets it down, and he's fired up about it. One out in the inning.
Yeah, good job by Barry. I mean, it was perfect bunt and great execution. You get that guy at second base, you better move him over to third for Cabrera.
The A's are going to bring the infield in right now with a runner at third base and one out. Cannot allow the Tigers to get many runs with Justin Verlander on the mound tonight. Cabrera grounded out in the first inning, 0 for 1. A grounded foul.
Yeah, how'd you like to be an infielder right now with Cabrera at the plate, and they're telling you, hey, you got to play at the edge of the grass? Oh, thanks a lot.
No, thank you.
But it'll be interesting to watch how Parker attacks Cabrera. Miguel, of course, a terrific hitter, having just completed the Triple Crown. But you got to stay hard on him, especially in this situation, because he's targeting the opposite field now.
This will get away. And coming from third base is Austin Jackson to put the Tigers on top 2-0. So Cabrera does not need to drive in the run. Instead, that one gets away, and Jackson scores. It's 2-0 Detroit.
Derek Norris didn't do a very good job on this ball. He never really goes to his knees and blocks up the hole. He tries to catch it. You're going to get beat every time you try to do that. It's a hard sinker ball in the dirt, and they keep it down. And Jackson at third base is going to score easily, but Norris has got to go down on his knees and block that ball, keep it in front of him. 2 wild pitches have contributed to the 2 Tiger runs.
Parker had 10 wild pitches during the regular season. 2 in this inning as Cabrera will pop it up into shallow right. Out goes Pennington. In comes Reddick, and Reddick puts it away. 2 down in the inning. So Cabrera 0 for 2 in the game. And it'll take us to Prince Fielder.
Now batting, number 28, Prince Fielder.
Fielder grounded out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. 3 for 17 in the series. On the ground, foul outside of first.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach for the Athletics, done a great job with this young staff. They started 4 rookies in this series, and they really have an understanding for staying within themselves and not trying to muscle up on pitches. They'll rely heavily on their off-speed pitches and never really try to muscle up and overpower hitters.
Finished the year with a 3.48 earned run average as a staff. Only the Tampa Bay Rays with a lower ERA at 3.19. 0-2 pitch to Fielder. He strikes out. But the Tigers gather a pair in the top of the 3rd inning. They've got a 2-0 lead in Game 5 from Oakland. Tigers have a 2-0 lead as we get ready for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Well, who will become a legend this October? Cast your postseason legend vote at MLBFanCave.com. Well, it is 2-0. The Tigers leading as Derek Norris, Cliff Pennington, and Coco Crisp coming up here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Verlander's got a lead now as his Tigers gather a pair in the top half of the inning.
And Verlander's got his stuff together. Early on was a concern for Jim Leyland, but he threw 13 pitches in the 1st inning. And when you think back to his start in Game 1, he threw 26 pitches in that 1st inning of Game 1.
Outfield set up straight away on Norris. Norris takes strike 1. So far 1 for 10 in the series. Side corner, and he's down 0-2.
Now you can see the body language from Justin Verlander. He's starting to feel real good about what he's featuring now. He's got the changeup in the mix early. The fastball has got a lot of life and late zip. Now he's bringing the curveball into the mix.
As you mentioned in Game 1, it seemed as if it took into the 4th or 5th inning before he became completely comfortable.
Well, he was pitching on 7 days rest, and that was a long span for him, and mechanically he was out of sync. He pitched the first 5 innings and really was fighting his rhythm.
That's on the outside corner for strike 3. Norris takes with him the 4th strikeout for Verlander. And we had the chance to catch up with Verlander's pitching coach in between innings, Jeff Jones. Jeff, what are your thoughts so far of Justin Verlander on the night?
I think he's thrown the ball very well. He has all of his pitches working. He's getting ahead in the count. So we're pretty pleased with where he's at right now.
Jeff, when he has that changeup working so effectively, what kind of an advantage does that give him when he also sets it up very effectively with his fastball?
Well, I think his changeup is a key pitch for him, especially against this club because they have a lot of left-hand hitters. So he got it going early, and hopefully it'll stay with him the rest of the game.
Well, so far so good in that category on the night for Verlander. And you mentioned the separation between the two. Go from 95 to 85. It's a pretty big change.
Yeah, there are a lot of starting pitchers that use a fastball at 85 miles an hour. Now that's Verlander's changeup. And just like Max Scherzer in last night's game, the arm action is what really sells that changeup. Hitters see fastball arm action and changeup velocity.
Cliff Pennington batting, and he looks at ball 2.
Scherzer was great last night, and that changeup serves him very well. Verlander and Scherzer 1-2 in the American League in strikeouts.
2-1 pitch to Pennington. On the ground up the middle, Peralta around the bag at second, and fire, and he gets it there just in time. Pennington got down the line very well. Ball was not hit all that hard, but Pennington retired for the 2nd out.
And Johnny Peralta kind of sat back on this ball right behind the bag at second, and Pennington does run well, but you can see he appeared to be out by about a half a step. Fielded with the stretch, and there's the catch, and then the foot just a little bit late coming down on the bag.
Two down in the 3rd inning, top of the order for the A's. Coco Crisp struck out swinging in the 1st, one of 4 strikeouts on the night for Verlander. Chris jumping on that first pitch, a fastball, and fouling it back. Verlander becoming just the 10th pitcher in Major League history to win both the MVP and Cy Young Award in the same season, 2011, and the first since Oakland A's Dennis Eckersley, 1992, the unanimous choice of the AL Cy Young Award winner. This is fouled off to the left hand MVP. And of course, X number retired here by the A's.
Yeah, you obviously have to be very dominant as a pitcher to win both the Cy Young and the MVP. There are a lot of traditionalists that will not vote for a pitcher for MVP, but Eckersley threw up such great numbers they had to give him that MVP as well, just like they did with Verlander. Verlander thought he'd got that curveball over the outside corner.
Two coming to Coco Crisp. On the ground left side, Peralta to the backhand. Going to hurry with Crisp running, and he gets it there just in time. A couple of bang plays at first, but a 1-2-3 third inning through 3. Tigers have a 2-0 lead in Game 5. Two to nothing. The Tigers have the lead over the A's as we head to the 4th inning. It's close plays at first base, especially the last one.
Well, Johnny Peralta didn't hang on to this ball very long. He knows he's got Coco Crisp sprinting down the first baseline, and Prince Fielder with a good stretch. They get Crisp by about a half a stride. But a couple of bang plays already for Scott Berry, the first base umpire.
So it's on to the 4th inning. 2-0. Tigers on top. Delman Young to lead it off. Fouled out to the third baseman first time up and takes a hack at the first pitch.
And that's that good sinking fastball, and it ran down underneath the bat of Delman Young, well off the plate.
Tigers getting to Jared Parker for 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Straightens up Young on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Tap foul.
Really interesting how pitchers can be so different in their approach and how they get hitters out. Parker has a sinking fastball, a slider, and a very good changeup. Compare that to what Verlander does. He throws a hard fastball, a hard slider, great curveball, and a changeup. He's got an extra weapon.
Wild swing and a miss for Delman Young. 4th strikeout for Jared Parker. He caught up with the manager of the Oakland A's, Bob Melvin, moments ago. Bob, you've been here before, down 2-0 right now, but certainly no panic in your team.
No, we just got to get some good balls to hit. You know, he's been throwing the ball in the corner a little bit off, and you know, we got to wait for a good pitch to hit, and when he makes a mistake, then we have to be able to handle it.
Bob, your hitters have a pretty good idea that he's going to be away. Wally Bell's given him some borderline pitches early on. How do you counteract that as a hitter?
Well, you know, you're programmed to swing at strikes. To keep getting out there, you got to get up on the plate a little bit and make him throw the ball inside.
Certainly a tough adjustment to make. We have seen Verlander go out there quite a bit as this one is lined to right. Reddick is there, and he'll make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Reddick was one of those guys that ended up striking out on a pitch that appeared to be well off the plate.
Well, we talk about Verlander, how tough he is to hit. Well, he's tough on Wally Bell as well. He's throwing 96 miles an hour, and it's got that late life. It starts in the strike zone and then darts out off the plate. But Wally's been very consistent. That's been his strike all night long. And if he's going to stay there, the Oakland A's hitters are going to have to creep up on the plate a little bit and try to cover that outer half.
So it's up to the hitter to make the adjustment. As there are 2 outs here in the 4th inning, and a swing and a miss for Johnny Peralta. His 2nd look tonight at Jared Parker. He flied out to center in the 2nd. 5 in a row retired by Parker. That'll skip in.
Yeah, he choked off that changeup and bounced it well in front of home plate. But this youngster has done a nice job of adjusting to the big leagues. He got a taste of postseason action last year, just a third of an inning with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, on the ground to third base, tough hop that jumps up on Donaldson. He gathers and throws, and it's still in time. Had time to recover at third base. A 10-pitch inning, 3.5 done. It's 2-0 Detroit.
Welcome back to Oakland, where the A's offense is trying to get something going here against Justin Verlander. Johnny Gomes is very well regarded in the A's clubhouse. He told me that he was talking to his teammates before the game and said the way to have success against Verlander is to see him in back-to-back starts. He said basically, you know, what you have to do is make adjustments against him, and this is the second time the A's lineup is facing him in a matter of 6 days. So they know what works, they know what doesn't work, and it's just a matter of making the adjustments. It's a race to whoever can make the adjustments the fastest. Don Buck.
4 strikeouts for him through the first 3 innings, and now he's about to go through the lineup for the second time tonight. We'll see what adjustments they make tonight. Stephen Drew leads it off here for the A's. Yoenis Cespedes and Seth Smith expected afterwards. They're going to swing and a miss at a high fastball.
Well, if I'm Alex Avila, I'm going to stay on the outer half of the plate with the fastball. I'm not even going to mess around inside with the fastball. You're getting favorable calls on that outside edge. Stay there and then work the changeup off that outside fastball.
Strike 2, and it's 0-2. 95 that time as he does come in.
Well, right now it looks like Justin Verlander can do anything he wants to. He's throwing strikes to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with all of his pitches.
4th inning during the regular season was his worst inning. 17 runs allowed in the 4th inning of the regular season, as he comes inside and misses that time. Well, he's an amazing guy. He can start 93 and finish even better by the game's end, sometimes upwards of 96, 97 by the end of the game, and seems never to be tired. And a foul tip, strike 3. Stephen Drew is out number 1, and that's 5 strikeouts for Justin Verlander.
Verlander's got it working early on, and he really feels good about what he's featuring right now. Stephen Drew tries to check his swing, and you can see a very slight foul tip. Wally Bell picked up on it. Avila held on to the ball. Yeah, that's the first down of the inning. 5 strikeouts now for Verlander.
Second time that Stephen Drew is down by way of the K. One Cespedes. He doubled in the first inning. Possesses the only hit the Oakland A's have in the game so far tonight. And a 2-out double, but was left at second base. Take strike 1.
Verlander's a big, strong guy, 6'5", 225, and he can stand up to the rigors of a full season, throwing over 200 innings again this year. I think being a dominant starting pitcher on the level of Verlander is as challenging physically as anything there is in the game. You got to sit around for 4 days. You only get to work once every 5 days, and then they ask you to pitch 125, 130 pitches.
Bounces that one and takes a look back at his landing area.
This is the 6th straight season he's thrown over 200 innings. And as you mentioned, he gets better and better as the game goes on. And that's not unlike some of the great pitchers from the past, the Seavers and the Gibsons and the Carltons. When they really get locked in, they just pick up the tempo and keep the pressure on the hitter.
Line to center. Austin Jackson comes in and makes the catch on the liner for the second out of the 4th inning. Watch bonus camera angles for the division series and ALCS games with the postseason.tv. Get started now at MLB.com. Well, Verlander has been ahead of most in this game per usual. 10 out of 12 first pitch strikes for Justin Verlander. Has 2 outs here in the 4th inning and has retired 5 Oakland A's in a row as Seth Smith stands in. Smith grounded back to the mound in the 1st inning. Smith had been 1 for 9 in his career with a home run against Verlander. Now 1 for 10 as he fouls this one back and out of play.
Yeah, there are going to be a whole lot of guys that are 1 for 10, 1 for 15 against Justin Verlander.
Not alone in that category.
That's a long list.
The line for Verlander so far has got a 2-0 lead. The 1-1 is strike 2.
Now there's another weapon, that hard curveball. He's very patient with it. Oftentimes power pitchers will overthrow that curveball, but Verlander has very good patience and allows it to come out of his hand and get that good tight spin.
In the dirt, sliding to his right, Avila.
Now there's the opposite side of it. He tried to throw a better curveball that time and bounced it in front of home. It's never a good feeling when you're a batter and the starting pitcher is waiting on the rubber for you to step in the box.
Smith with a late protective swing and he fouls it back. 96 on the gas that time from Verlander. Cespedes hit the ball hard, but he lined out to Austin Jackson for the 2nd out of this inning. 2-2. Breaking ball, and that'll miss. Wally Bell took a good long look, and Verlander thought he had him.
It's about in the same spot that Bell has called fastball strikes, down and away, but this one was a little too far outside for Bell's liking.
Swing and a miss. Verlander gets him in the end. 6 strikeouts for Verlander. Another 1-2-3 inning. We're through 4. It's 2-0 Tigers in Game 5. Fifth inning back at O.co Coliseum in Oakland, California, where the Tigers have a 2-0 advantage. They've been an aggressive bunch. 8 of 16 Tigers have swung at the first pitch so far against Jared Parker, as they come to bat in the 5th with a 2-run lead. Parker has retired the last 6 Tigers in a row. And it's Alex Avila, their catcher, leads it off here in the 5th. Chops one down the first baseline. It's a fair ball, and Moss will win the race to the bag for the first out of the 5th inning.
Well, as dominant as Justin Verlander has been, Jared Parker's keeping his club within striking distance, and that's all the A's want. Just give us a chance. Just keep us right here. Parker's only allowed 4 hits and a couple of wild pitches in the 3rd inning, contributing to the 2 Tiger runs.
One down for Omar Infante. That's really what the starters have done in the first 2 games for the A's here. Just keep them in it, and they'll take care of the rest with some late inning theatrics. And certainly last night, and down this road before with the Oakland A's, as again they had 44 come from behind victories in the regular season. They trailed 2-0 here in Game 5 with 1 out in the 5th. Infante singled and would score on the double by Austin Jackson in the 3rd inning. The 2-run inning for the Tigers. There is Austin Jackson, able to drive in a run. He would score the second Tigers run. That'll miss, and that's ball 4 to the number 9 man, Omar Infante. Draws a 1-out walk. First free pass served up by Jared Parker.
Infante scored the first Tiger run. Now he's aboard with 1 out. Chip Hale giving the running game defense to his catcher Derek Norris. Infante advanced to second base on a wild pitch in the 3rd inning, would score on Jackson's double.
Jackson takes strike 1. It's down to Gene Lamont in third base coach's box here for the Tigers. Brandon Moss holding on. Omar Infante at first base. 0-1 is bloop foul off to the right, and it's 0-2.
Oakland turned 2 double plays in last night's game. And Parker with that sinking fastball, he's always in a position to get 2 outs with 1 pitch.
Runner goes. Jackson takes the ball. The throw from Norris is going to be high and late. And into second base with the theft is Omar Infante.
Well, we had mentioned that Parker's very deliberate, and the Tigers are forcing the issue. Infante breaks, takes a quick peek at the throw. It's high. Pennington has to make sure it doesn't go into center. You can see that ball took off right out of Norris's hand. He didn't have a shot at throwing out Infante. But during the regular season, Parker gave up 21 steals in 27 attempts.
Swing and a miss. Jackson strikes out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball by him. 5th strikeout for Parker. He needed that, and he gets out number 2.
Great late movement on this 2-seam fastball. You can see how it just comes down and in, and Jackson swings over the top of it.
Well, it equals the strikeout total for Parker in game 1 with the 5 strikeouts that he had in that first game. And there's 2 outs here in the 5th. Quentin Berry, the batter, with Omar Infante at second base. Berry will pop it up. Foul ground. Racing is Donaldson. Donaldson will get there to make the catch. The fast foul ground at O.Co Coliseum works the advantage of the Athletics. The Tigers have a 2-0 lead halfway through game 5. Nothing. Tigers have the lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, if you thought you knew what Cougar Town was about, and your thinking is all wrong thinking. It's about friends and wine, just not in that order. Brand new season of Cougar Town begins on a brand new network this January on TBS. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Verlander, on the strength of 6 strikeouts, retired the last 6 batters he's faced, has given up only 1 hit, 1 walk. And he's into the 5th with the Tigers on top 2-0. Josh Reddick, Josh Donaldson, Brandon Moss, the trio in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fly ball out towards deep left center field. Jackson on the run back towards the track to make the catch. Jackson had to go a long way to get back there, but he runs onto the dirt of the track and makes the grab to retire Josh Reddick for the first out of the 5th.
It's unusual, but the ball is carrying very well here tonight. That was a first pitch changeup that Reddick stayed on pretty well, and Jackson thought he had it just shy of the warning track, but it carried a little bit further than he expected. He still ran it down, but Reddick hit that ball pretty hard on the first pitch changeup from Verlander.
We come to you from O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. This is game 5 of the American League Division Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. And it's the Tigers who have jumped out to a 2-0 advantage. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, Jamie Maggio with you. What a series this has been, and it comes to its end tonight, one way or another. Donaldson popped out back in the second inning. He will lift one in the air to shallow left center this time. Peralta out and calling. Shortstop puts it away, 2 down. Two quick outs puts a hush over this crowd in a hurry.
And Verlander really has everything working now. He got Reddick on one pitch, a changeup to fly out to center field, and then it's Josh Donaldson on 2 pitches. Gives him an opportunity to extend his outing, pitch deeper into this ball game.
Far more economical at the moment than his first outing. 2 down. Moss takes one for strike 1.
Another first pitch changeup at 85.
Swing and a miss. Another one back to back, and it's 0-2.
Now, you know you really got a great changeup when you're changing speeds on the same pitch. He sells it very well as if it's going to be a fastball, and Moss was way out in front.
Moss takes this time, and it is 1-2.
3 straight changeups, and now it's time to elevate a fastball. He's had an easy inning.
One-two pitch. Go to the curve, and it's lined out to left center. That'll get in for a base hit.
Yeah, I don't like that call at all. You see, Verlander shook to the curveball. You've already got Moss thinking soft. And now after 3 changeups, they throw him a curveball. So he is backed off anyway. I think a fastball would have been a much better pitch. And you can see Moss stays on it and gets aboard with a base hit. He had already seen soft, soft, soft. And on the 4th pitch, you throw him another soft pitch. And he singles to left.
First hit for the Oakland A's since the first inning when Cespedes had doubled. Now they get a single from Moss with 2 outs in the 5th. Derek Norris, the batter. He went looking in the 3rd inning. There's 6 strikeouts for Verlander on the night. Strike 1.
Sometimes the fact that you have too many great pitches creates problems. Verlander forgot he still has 97 in reserve after he had thrown 3 good changeups, and he could have punched out Moss with 1 high fastball in my mind.
Quickly ahead here, though, as he reaches back for 97, 0-2. Norris thought about it, lays off.
A hard slider he buried in the dirt, but you can see the expression on Verlander's face. His teammates have seen that throughout his career, as if to say, I got this, boys.
Down and away again. He's trying to make some 2-out noise here in the 5th inning. The crowd certainly is.
Don't forget that the A's have out-homered the Tigers during the regular season. They've got a lot of pop in this lineup. During the regular season, Oakland hit 195 home runs compared to 163 for the Tigers.
Verlander got the very late timeout call from Wally Bell. He's not happy about it at all. He was about to fire in. He was the last to find out. This crowd was so loud he did not hear it. Two to Norris. That just misses. Verlander was headed to the dugout, but instead it's called a ball, and it's a full count now. Moss can get it started first.
It's a breaking ball. It stays up, and Verlander thought it was a strike. Wally Bell didn't give him that call, and you can see the reaction. He was headed toward the dugout.
Norris strikes out. Verlander gets him in the end and picks up his 7th strikeout. We're through 5 in Game 5. It's 2-0 Tigers.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
6th inning in Game 5 of the American League Division Series, Tigers and A's, and it's 2-0 Detroit as the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Tigers come up. Jared Parker works into this 6th inning. Miguel Cabrera leading it off and chopping one to third. Donaldson's up with it, throwing plenty of time to get Cabrera, who was 0 for 3 in the game, and out number 1 of the 6th inning.
Now again, another at bat with nobody on base for Miguel Cabrera, and that really allows Parker to be very relaxed and aggressive. And Jim Leland has been dying for some at bats with 2 or 3 men on for Cabrera, but that's not been the case throughout this series.
And Cabrera has been aggressive. He has seen 6 pitches and 3 at bats.
It becomes frustrating when you're a run producer and you're not getting many opportunities to produce. You start chasing a bit.
0-1 to Fielder. That is up and away. And it's 1-1. Prince tonight is grounded out to third base. Struck out swinging. One of 5 strikeouts for the A's starter, Jared Parker. Fielder will pop it up. Donaldson into foul ground. 2 down.
Cabrera and Fielder now 0 for 6 against Jared Parker. He has kept the Tigers within striking distance.
Number 21, Delman.
So 2 down here in the 6th inning. Delman Young coming up. Hey, look at the 3, 4, 5. They're combined 0 for 8, and that includes Delman Young, who is 0 for 2 in tonight's game. And in the wins that the Tigers got at home in Detroit, it was the same situation. Those 3 really not doing very much. It was the rest, the complementary pieces of this Tigers team that aided them to win. Here's a base hit, though, for Delman Young. 2-out single to left, and it's the 5th Tigers hit of the night.
Delman Young hits that ball out over the plate and is able to hook it into left field. But you're right, even tonight they've scored 2 runs, but only 1 with the benefit of a hit. The other came in on a wild pitch.
Austin Jackson's double scored Omar Infante. Jackson would score on the wild pitch, uncorked by Jared Parker. Tigers with 2 outs have a runner at first for Andy Dirks. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Dirks had an infield hit, stole a base in the 2nd inning. Lined out to right in the 4th, 1 for 2. 18 of 24 first pitch strikes on the night for Jared Parker, who has been ahead of most.
The reason first pitch strikes are so important is that puts the batter in a swing mode. He now has just 2 more strikes left. He's got to expand his strike zone. If the other situation is reversed where Parker falls behind, then they become more selective. But pitching ahead has really played into the strength of Jared Parker.
Turks looks at a strike and he's down 1-2. Outfield deep on him. Scott will get back on its feet again with 2 strikes to the batter. 1-2. Check on first. Not a very big lead for Delman Young. Easily back to the bag. Turks not chasing that. Too far outside. 2-2. Again away.
It's so tempting, that changeup, but the late run took it well out of the strike zone, and Dirks was able to identify it quickly.
Dirks, a guy who enjoyed the season series against the A's very much at .462 against him. 12 for 26 during the regular season. Swing and a pop-up right side. Cliff Pennington on the outfield grass makes the catch. It ends at top of the 6th inning. 5.5 deep into this one. It's game 5 and it's 2-0 Tigers.
The TBS Social Dugout app, presented by the Samsung Galaxy S3. Download the app now and predict the answer to this half-innings new question. Will there be a pitching change? The TBS Social Dugout app. Join in and play along.
Last half of the 6th inning, game 5 of the American League Division Series. It's a unique gathering here in Oakland.
It's more like a party than a ball game, and everybody comes out to support this team. There are a lot of characters on this Athletics ball club with a lot of personality, and the crowd is really bought into it.
There's a lot of personality in this crowd, too. Well, look at Verlander. Difference from game 1 to game 2. He threw a bunch of pitches early, 61 through 3 innings. And tonight, right now, through the first 5, it's 72.
Yeah, he's in great shape as far as his pitch count goes.
Jim Whalen needs him to go deep into this game. And said he would go deeper in the pitch count if need be. He is the best pitcher he's got, might be the best pitcher in the game. You understand why. Cliff Pennington batting out of the number 9 spot for the Athletics. His second look at Verlander tonight. Grounded to short in the 3rd inning.
Now, as good as Verlander has been, the A's are only a bloop and a blast away from tying it up.
We know they have a flair for the dramatic. That's a strike. 2-1.
Verlander, another high pitch, gets a favorable call from Wally Bell. And you can see Cliff Pennington was biting his tongue at home plate.
Three and 1. Doesn't seem like Verlander's been in this spot very much tonight.
Now, he's been ahead most of the night.
The hitters count here to the number 9 man, Cliff Pennington. Pennington will ground it right side. Omar Infante gathers and throws. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. On the ground ball out, second time Pennington has grounded out tonight. The Bernie dance as Coco Crisp makes his way to the plate. Weekend at Bernie's. He's got a rebirth out here in Oakland, to say the least. At least the first one. I don't know about the second one.
They certainly made it popular because of Coco Crisp, and they use that as a walk-up music. And everybody has bought into it.
Bernie actually spoke in the movie for about the first 10 minutes. And then sadly passed away for the remainder of the movie. Somehow they made a sequel. Just strike over the outside corner.
But you see, once again, there's a pitch off the plate outside, and Coco Crisp is backing out of the batter's box, upset and that Verlander continues to get that pitch called a strike. We spoke to Bob Melvin early in the ball game and say, how do you counteract that? He said, well, you might have to get up on top of the plate.
Third time through here for the A's against Verlander. This one sliced foul. Well, Coco Crisp got the series started off on the right foot for the A's. First batter, he takes Verlander out of the yard for a home run.
It was a high fastball and just out over the middle of the plate, and there was no doubt about it. He had a line drive out of the ballpark to right. He had 11 regular season home runs.
Crisp fouls it off to the left. Speaking of sequels, the Oakland A's and Coco Crisp would like to have another one tonight after what took place last night.
Well, last night was dramatic, and they were down by 2. Jose Valverde came into the ball game, and they didn't waste any time. Single, double, 2-run double, and it was tied just like that.
Valverde just did not have it in last night's game. Relies on location so much and just didn't have it last night. A lot of missed location. 1-2 and a very late swing by Crisp to stay alive.
But he has to go after that pitch. It's been called a strike, and he's aware of that. You can't take anything close on the outer part of the plate. Now Verlander and Avila, his catcher, can just continue to take it further and further away.
Only 2 hits allowed by Verlander, 1 since the first inning. 2-2. Good at bat turned in so far by Coco Crisp. Fouled off again.
Verlander really missed his spot there. They were trying to come inside, and he missed all the way across the plate outside. And Coco Crisp has really covered the outside part of the plate. Watch where the catcher is set up, down and in. He misses all the way across the plate, up and away, and Crisp was able to foul it off.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And it's a ground ball to second base. Omar Infante throws out Crisp, 2 down. That was the longest at bat of the night for an Oakland batter. 2 down in the 6th.
And Crisp really hustling down the line, putting the pressure on Infante on a routine ground ball. And he had a little bit to say to Wally Bell as he headed back to the dugout. Once again, the theme of the message from the A's hitters: Verlander doesn't need any help.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Stephen Drew coming up here for the A's. Drew's had no luck tonight. Struck out swinging in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 4th. As Coco Crisp is still miffed as the pitch is in there for a strike.
Wally Bell has consistently called it a strike. Doesn't mean it's a strike, but it's been the same all night long. And you can see how frustrated Crisp is.
One of those nights for Drew, you strike out twice, you look up and you're down 0-2 again.
Yeah, it seems like you step in the box and how did I get here already?
strikes out for a third time. The trifecta for Verlander, who has 8 strikeouts in the game and is through 6. His Tigers have a 2-0 lead. Two nothing Tigers on top as we get ready for the 7th. Get your team's news first. Get the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. You'll never miss another big moment with your team. Download Team Stream on the App Store or Google Play. Bottom third of the Tigers order in the 7th inning. Johnny Peralta, Alex Avila, and Omar Infante. Jared Parker returns to the top of the hill for the A's. Thrown 70 pitches through 6 innings and has kept his team in this game. With the Tigers on top 2-0, he's not looked at all in awe of the situation tonight.
Not at all. He has really been comfortable, and unfortunately Derek Norris allowed a couple of wild pitches to get past him in the 3rd inning, and that contributed to the 2 runs. The 2nd run scored on a wild pitch. Austin Jackson scored from 3rd.
Peralta has flied out to center field, grounded out to 3rd base.
I'm a firm believer that if a catcher can get to a ball, he should be able to block it. Wild pitches to me are those ones you can't get to. But Parker has that great sinking fastball, and if he's going to miss, he's going to miss in the dirt more often than not. So as a catcher, you've got to anticipate balls in the dirt and get ready for them.
Peralta hits it on the ground. Diving is Donaldson off his glove. It'll be run down by Drew in short left. But reaching at first base is Johnny Peralta.
Donaldson bobbled the ball in the 4th inning off the bat of Peralta, but he was able to knock it down. This time he just barely gets a piece of it as he dives to his left. You can see it hit off the finger of his glove. He never got enough of it to knock it down. Watch how it hits off the bottom of his glove. He didn't get that glove down quick enough, and it goes past him for an infield hit.
When it goes in the first pitch, a swing and a miss, and the throw down is not going to be in time. A tough throw from Norris.
Yeah, and they have a couple of guys that don't steal a lot of bases run tonight. Peralta had just 1 stolen base all season long. Avila is out in front of the changeup.
The look of a hit and run, the way he was swinging at that pitch.
Yeah, it was a hit and run, and you can see Peralta peeks over his shoulder. There's going to be a throw, but it's well off the mark.
Tigers with 4 stolen bases in the series. They have 3 tonight. This will bounce in, knocked down by Norris. No advance for Peralta.
Yeah, Norris was lucky on that one as well. It was a curveball. He just kind of got a piece of it. The curveball might be the most difficult ball to block when it's thrown hard like this last one. You're never really sure where it's going to bounce. But you can see he didn't put a glove on it. He just kind of missed it, but it got part of him. Just stayed right there at home. They're lucky that Peralta didn't move up on that one.
That's a strike, and it's 1-2. It appears to me that Norris, more often than not tonight, has tried to backhand stuff more than he has flipping that glove underneath.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You're just not going to catch a high percentage of those balls in dirt. You've got to block them. And that's the first thing a catcher needs to think about, is keeping the ball in front of you.
Avila takes, and it evens at 2-2.
Well, Avila needs to pull the ball on the ground right here. At a minimum, move Peralta from 2nd to 3rd. And he's just got to think about having a pitch that he can pull on the right side. And if he sneaks it through the infield for a base hit, that's a bonus.
Outside for ball 3.
Kurt Suzuki, the veteran, was traded mid-season, and he was terrific at blocking balls in the dirt. He caught 72 games for the A's. Bob Melvin, a former catcher himself, really understood the value of Suzuki behind the plate, even though he wasn't contributing much with the bat.
Avila strikes out. Parker needed that. Picks up his 6th K. 1 down.
Boy, Parker gets a huge strikeout, and you can see another changeup, and Avila is way out in front of it. He's trying to pull it, but it was so well thrown in a good spot, he can't make contact. Brian Cook starting to heat up. On the back end of this A's bullpen is really good. Big arms, a lot of strikeouts, and Cook was great again last night.
1 out. Peralta at second base, and here's Omar Infante. Works out of the number 9 spot, but he's been aboard twice in the game. That skips in for ball 1. Infante is single, would score in the 3rd inning after he singled, walked, and stole a base, was left on in the 5th. Detroit has left 4 men on through the first 6 innings, and they've got a 2-0 advantage. A runner in scoring position and 1 out. That's a strike. 1-1.
And you see Wally Bell gave Parker a pretty good pitch there, and he's been consistent. He hasn't been one-sided or the other. And that pitch on that third base side of home plate has been a strike for Wally Bell all night long.
Bluffing off the backside is Parker as Peralta returns to the bag. Second baseman Pennington close to the bag at second, keeping Peralta close to the bag. And Infante takes ball 2.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you shorten Peralta's lead at second should there be a base hit. If you can shorten him up by 2 or 3 steps and there's a base hit, you got a shot to throw him out.
Ball 3, 3-1. Another good at bat turned in here by the number 9 man Infante. And Derek Norris, the catcher, is going to go out and talk to Jared Parker.
Yeah, this is a twofold trip right here. Out to talk a little strategy about how they're going to attack Infante, but it also gives Cook another couple of extra pitches. Cook is a strikeout pitcher, and Bob Melvin might go to him with Jackson, the next batter.
Parker in game 1 went 6 1/3. That's where he's at right now. 4th 3-ball count of the night. Infante lines it into right field, a base hit. Peralta had to wait to make sure that wasn't caught, and he stops at third. Throw is wild, but backed up by the pitcher Parker. As Infante in a low liner that just got up over the outstretched glove of Cliff Pennington at second base, and it's 1st and 3rd now for the Tigers.
Yeah, Peralta had to freeze to make sure this ball is not caught, so he doesn't get a jump. Watch him at second base. It's a line drive, and he holds his ground to make sure that ball gets to the outfield, and that's why he's not able to score on the single to right. Well, Bob Melvin has Cook ready.
So Parker went 6 1/3 in game 1. He goes 6 1/3 in game 5. And lead trailing in this game, responsible for the runners on. 2-0 pitching change coming to you from the Coliseum in Oakland. Jared Parker underneath that towel went 6 1/3 innings tonight as he departs, responsible for the runners at first and third right now for the Tigers as they threaten in the 7th inning with Detroit on top 2-0. And a look at his line tonight. 85 pitches thrown by the starter tonight for the A's.
They did a good job of keeping the Tigers within striking distance. That's exactly where they are. They have a 2-run lead, and a couple of wild pitches in the 3rd inning have accounted for those 2 runs. New pitcher is Ryan Cook. His 4th appearance in this series, and the strikeouts, 4 strikeouts in 3 1/3, and he's got a strikeout candidate in the plate at the plate in Austin Jackson.
Pitched in games 2, 3, and 4, and here he is in game 5. Parker can just look on now as Ryan Cook with runners at first and third and 1 out. First pitch to Jackson is a strike.
Nasty slider, real tight spin, difficult to identify.
With 23 pitches in game 2, 14 in game 3, and 16 in game 4. For the first, and quickly back to the bag is Infante. Ryan Cook inherited 25 runners during the season, 8 of them scored. He inherits 2 runners here in the 7th inning and trying to keep this a 2-run deficit for the A's. This is line into right center field, a base hit. From third comes Peralta to score. On to third, the throw there, and safe at third base. As he overslid the bag that time is Infante, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead.
Cliff Pennington came within inches of gloving that line drive. He might have got a piece of it. This is a bullet off the bat of Austin Jackson. He hit a good pitch, and you could see his hesitation suggested he thought the second baseman was going to get it. But that ball was hit so hard it gets past Pennington before he could get his glove up. And Infante goes first to third. But that was a bullet by Austin Jackson. Big insurance run. Infante came off the bag, but Donaldson didn't field the ball cleanly.
So first and third again with 1 out. Quentin Berry, the batter. Left to third, looked to first, doesn't throw to either locale. Berry a double in the first, and a sacrifice bunt in the third. He fouled out in the 5th inning. Outside for ball 1.
Boy, Jackson really hit that ball hard, and it was a good fastball. Might have been low on the outer half, and he stayed right on it and drilled it over the second baseman's head.
Second hit, second RBI of the game for Austin Jackson, the top of the order. Getting it started here for the Detroit Tigers. As the pitch will miss again, and Cook falls behind 2-0. Finally, some people on base, likely for Cabrera, who waits on deck. Fonte at third, Jackson at first. Ball 3. Berry taken all the way, takes ball 4, and the bases will be loaded. So Cook has come in and given up an RBI single and now a walk. Well, Miguel Cabrera coming up, and this will be the 4th time he's batted. He's 0 for 3. 3, 4, and 5 hitters have had trouble in this series, and look at their numbers in the ALDS.
Yeah, and you can see that they have been shut down very effectively. Just 2 RBIs. They haven't had many opportunities with runners on, and now Cabrera will bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. It is only grand slam of the season against Oakland this year, part of a 6 RBI ball game.
We're wondering about the amount of times Cook has been used against the 4th time in the series he's appeared. He pitched in 3 straight games 4 times in the regular season. 2 runs in 4 innings pitched. There is action behind him as Jerry Blevins up in the pen. But in a big jam here. Cabrera batting, bases loaded, Tigers already on top. That's strike 1. And 0-1 to Cabrera. Tap foul, and he's down 0-2.
We mentioned 1 grand slam this season. It came against Jesse Chavez on the 18th of September at Detroit. And he has been a run-producing machine all season long, wrapped up the Triple Crown. 139 ribbies during the regular season.
And he gets hit to drive in another Tigers run. Tigers will take a 4-0 lead. So he had gotten ahead of Cabrera 0-2, and he brings a pitch inside that hits Cabrera, get an RBI, and it's 4-0 Tigers.
They're trying to crowd him with that fastball and loses it upstairs. Hits Cabrera right on the elbow. So still 3, 4, and 5 have only driven in 1 run with a hit, and that was a solo home run by Prince Fielder.
Now Melvin out to make the change as Cook, disappointed with his work tonight, did not retire any of the Tigers. It's 4-0 Detroit. Four to nothing. Tigers have the lead over the Oakland A's this January on TBS. If you're looking for a great comedy with a beautiful cast and a really crappy title, then Cougar Town is the comedy with the crappy title you're looking for. Cougar Town, brand new season on a brand new network, begins this January only on TBS. And the base is filled with Tigers with 1 out in the inning and a new pitcher for the A's, Jerry Blevins, into the game.
Blevins pitched in last night's game. He faced 5 batters and picked up 6 outs. He got a double play off the bat of Prince Fielder, the batter he's going to face with the bases loaded here. Regular season was a good one, and Blevins has really developed into a reliable reliever. Fastball, slider, and a good changeup. He's in a jam right now.
Got those 6 outs on just 11 pitches in last night's outing. Very impressive, and the A's need him to be again tonight. Prince Fielder batting with the bases loaded. And Fielder takes a look at ball 1. Fielder's grounded out to third, struck out, fouled out. Jared Parker charged with the 4 runs tonight. Ryan Cook responsible for the men on. 2-0. Long wait for Justin Verlander. He doesn't mind at the moment his team scoring runs. Looking for more. 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1.
And obviously Blevins, with Fielder at the plate now, has really got to be able to get that breaking ball over to Fielder. When he's behind, you can see Evan Scrivener quickly begins to loosen up for Oakland.
Elevates and chases on a pitch that was up near his chin. 2-2. Bases loaded for the Tigers. 1 out in the inning. 2-2 pitch to Prince Fielder. Fielder hits a fly ball to center field. Crisp had started back. Now he comes in and it'll fall for a hit. From third, Jackson will score and the Tigers take a 5-0 lead. Coco Crisp again. That first step was back and it lands in shallow center field. Fielder drives in a run and the Tigers lead it 5-0.
Tigers have been waiting all series long for a big inning, and now they've scored 3 here in the 7th. When you've got power hitters at the plate, you see a big swing. Outfielders have a tough time. Their initial reaction is that he hit it hard. Chris took a step back, and now he's got a long run, and he'll never recover. That happened to him in Game 2 in Detroit. Chris takes that one step back, and it proves costly. It happened to him with Cabrera at the plate in Game 2. He got to it, but would eventually drop the ball for a 2-run error.
8th member of the Tigers to bat here in the 7th inning is Delman Young, and he lines one off the glove of Stephen Drew at short into left. Scoring from third is Berry, and the Tigers take a 6-0 lead. They're opening up this game number 5.
You just wonder if the magic has come to an end for Oakland. This ball was a potential double play ball that Drew goes down to the backhand.
Now batting, number 12.
He plays the short hop, but it just skips off his glove. If he makes that grab, it's going to be an easy double play, but the Tigers have kicked the door wide open here in the 7th.
They charge an error to Stephen Drew at shortstop. Bases reloaded again for the Tigers. Andy Dirks with the infield in all the way around. 9th member for Detroit to bat in the inning, and a ground ball to second base. Coming home is Pennington, and out there the force out and the second out of the inning.
Yeah, if the manager has the infield playing in, you can't even take a shot at 2. He knows that you can't fall any further behind. It's already a 6-0 deficit, and it was hit right at the second baseman, but Melvin wants to save the run at the plate. You can see Drew kind of broke toward the bag, but the play is to go to the plate, get the force out. Can't fall any further behind Justin Verlander.
So bases loaded, 2 down now. Johnny Peralta started this inning with the infield hit off the glove of Josh Donaldson at third base. It's got all this started. Just a 2-0 game coming into this in the 7th inning. The Tigers have scored 4 times so far, and they're looking for more. Largest deficit the A's came back in this season was 4 runs. They trail by 6 right now. Peralta takes the strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, 6 runs a deep hole to dig your way out of, especially when you're facing Justin Verlander. In an elimination game, Verlander has had all of his pitches working, and now you're behind by 6.
Working towards 30 minutes sitting in the dugout. Verlander up and down to the clubhouse as his team has collected 4 runs so far in the top half of the 7th inning. Loop to center field. Crisp coming in. Coco will make the catch that will end the inning. But it's a big one for the Detroit Tigers. They score 4 times. 7th inning stretch, 6-0 Tigers. Let's check out the Geico game summary in this game. And Verlander's been outstanding for the Tigers. 6 shutout innings so far. The offense starting to get it going for the Tigers, and finally in a big way. They score 4 times in the 7th inning. Jared Parker hung in there for a long time for the A's. He gets the 2nd start of this postseason. And right now, the Tigers have opened this game up. It is 6-0 as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning back here at O.J. Coliseum. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, and Buck, a huge inning just took place for the Detroit Tigers. And finally, they got some big hits offensively.
Well, they sure do, and they took advantage of an error at shortstop, and Miguel Cabrera was hit with the bases loaded for an RBI. They still really haven't pounded the ball the way they did all season long, but they took advantage of some mistakes by Oakland tonight. Couple of wild pitches in that 2nd inning and that 3rd inning where 2 runs scored, and I think overall Oakland has been a little bit on edge tonight. They've not been able to come through against Justin Verlander throughout the 2 starts in this series with runners in scoring position. They've shut them down perfectly, and Verlander once again has his great stuff, and he got it early in this ball game. He threw just 13 pitches in the 1st inning to really get into the flow of the game.
Well, again, a long wait for Verlander as it works out, and about 30 minutes, but his team collects 4 runs, and he's got a 6-0 advantage as he returns to the hill. Yoenis Cespedes has one of only 2 hits given up tonight by Verlander. Cespedes doubled back in the 1st inning, lined out to center in the 4th inning. Wondering about the other A's hit. Brandon Moss with a single in the 5th. Worked out officially to be a 33-minute wait. And first pitch swinging is Cespedes. Foul ball. And heading over is Fielder, and he makes the catch. Couldn't find it, threw the arms out as if to say I don't have it, and then finds it in the end and makes the catch with Alex Avila alongside.
It's always a much better play for a corner infielder to take this ball away from the catcher. And Fielder's looking at Avila. Avila looks back at Fielder, and then Fielder says, I'll take it. These 2 ran together earlier in the season, and this time Avila's going to make sure he doesn't run into big Prince Fielder at first, and Fielder took command right at the end. Once one last look at Avila and said, okay, I'll call for it, and makes the grab.
He was happy to find it in his glove. It's out number 1 of the 7th inning. Seth Smith, the batter. Smith 0 for 2. He's grounded back to the mound and struck out swinging. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike now to Seth Smith.
So far, it doesn't look like the long delay for Verlander has affected him one bit. He threw a very good changeup right there to even the count of the ball and the strike.
Verlander with 8 strikeouts in the game. Has walked only 1. In the air down the right field line, it'll hook foul. Not ahead of that was Seth Smith.
Smith had a home run in game 3 against Anibal Sanchez and has a lot of power, and Verlander certainly has the cushion with a 6-0 lead to go ahead and throw that fastball on the inside part of the plate.
Towel coming out onto the field in the right field corner. Taken care of here. A brief delay. Two-2 pitch. Smith will strike out. 2 down in the 7th inning. Let's check in with Matt Weiner in our Atlanta studio. Matt.
Thank you, Don. It's a Bank of America game break and an update on what's going on in the Bronx. And what's going on is that Baltimore has taken a lead in the top of the 13th. Manny Machado led off with a double, advanced to third on a ground out, and J.J. Hardy delivered him with an RBI double. We've gone to the bottom of the 13th, but the O's lead it 2-1.
An exciting game tonight in the Bronx again. What a tight series that has been so far. And right now the Tigers with a 6-0 advantage here in Game 5 of this American League Division Series. Reddick with a swing and a miss.
Well, it's been a great start to the postseason with all the great games back and forth. Jason Worth with the walk-off home run today. Ibanez last night. Coco Crisp with a walk-off hit. A lot of exciting finishes to some tight ball games.
Reddick strikes out. That's 10 strikeouts for Verlander. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Through 7, Tigers have a 6-0 lead in Game 5. Back at O.co Coliseum in Oakland, California, Game 5 of the ALDS. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, and Jamie Maggio. As we move to the 8th inning, and the Tigers have a 6-0 advantage. Just after midnight on the East Coast, just after 9 p.m. here in the West. And a new pitcher for the Oakland A's, Evan Scribner, becomes the 4th A's pitcher of the game. He was claimed off waivers from the Padres in the offseason.
Scribner had 3 different stints with the Oakland A's, going back and forth between AAA Sacramento. He made 30 appearances, a 2-0 record. This is his first postseason appearance as he comes into this 6-0 ball game.
Alex Avila will lead it off here for the Tigers in the 8th. Did the bulk of their damage in the 7th, scoring 4 times. 4 runs charged to Parker, 2 to Ryan Cook. Evan Scribner, the 4th Oakland pitcher of the night. And a pitch outside for ball 1. This one is popped up foul. Donaldson gives chase, but that'll get back into the seats and out of play.
You could see the look around this ballpark as the fans appeared to be thinking, well, this thing might come to an end tonight. They're down 6-0 to Detroit. It's been a magical ride. This team has won their last 8 home games, including the first 2 of this part of the division series. They lost the first 2 in Detroit, came home with their backs against the wall. Even the series of 2 games apiece, and then we're in tough against Justin Verlander tonight.
And all the games very close, as this one has been opened up a tad by the Tigers.
Yeah, there's a fan with a Oakland jersey and a Baltimore hat next to a Giants fan, and Giants have advanced.
There's strike 3 to Avila. Well, there's a relationship and a history between Bob Melvin and Jim Leland. With more, here's Jamie Maggio.
Thanks, Don. Well, back in 1981, Bob Melvin was a young catcher playing in the Detroit Tigers Instructional League. He was playing for Jim Leland. I asked Leland about Melvin back then. He joked. He said, yeah, he wasn't a very good hitter. But then he said something very heartfelt. He said, you know what? He was a smart guy and a hard worker. And I'll tell you what, he is a terrific manager. He will be managing in this league for a very long time.
We think about Manager of the Year candidates, and Buck Showalter has got to be named in the same conversation with what he was able to accomplish this year with the Orioles. Both those teams, really, you think about it, the Orioles and the Oakland A's, and should the A's season come to an end tonight, what a terrific ride it has been.
Yeah, it sure has. And Jim Leland suggested that both Melvin and Buck Showalter should be co-managers of the year, given what they've done with their respective ball clubs. And nobody, I mean nobody, expected Baltimore and Oakland to be in the postseason.
Give an honorable mention to Joe Madden. And the work that he did again this year in Tampa Bay. That's in there for strike 3. Scribner back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th.
Scribner has a very good curveball, but it's the fastball that gets Infante, and there's another pitch on that third base side of home plate that Wally Bell has called a strike all night long for both pitchers.
We're talking about how close this series has been, and this is really the first time that it has been a big advantage for one side or the other. The margins of victory in the first 4 games. Game 1, 2 runs. Game 2, a run. Game 3, 2 runs, and last night a 1-run victory. So it's been tight until this point of the series. 2 outs in the 8th and a fly ball to right field. Josh Reddick backing over, makes the catch. A 1-2-3 top of the 8th. A's are coming up with work to do. 6-0 Tigers. Six to nothing, the Tigers have the lead over the Oakland A's, as only 2 hits so far for the A's. This crowd hoping that Oakland can get something going here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Problem is Verlander, he's back on the hill again.
Yeah, he has been locked in from the first pitch of this game. When you look back to his start in game 1, he went 7 innings and allowed just 3 hits to Oakland in that game.
Only
and
2 tonight.
He's one-upped himself in this one.
A double in the first for Cespedes. Single for Moss in the 5th inning. A walk mixed in. That's been it. 10 strikeouts in his outing so far tonight. And Josh Donaldson leads it off here for the A's in the 8th. Donaldson takes ball 1. Verlander in his 2 games has 21 strikeouts. It equals a record for most strikeouts in a division series. It's tied right now with Cliff Lee and Kevin Brown. 1-0 foul back off to the right. We welcome those of you who are watching extra inning baseball from the Bronx tonight, and the victory for the Orioles 2-1. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, Jamie Maggio in this game 5 of the American League Division Series from Oakland. And it has been all Tigers. 2 runs in the 3rd, 4 in the 7th. And Verlander on the mound for the Tigers. Enough said. 100th pitch of his night coming. And it's fouled off to the right.
Well, we mentioned the comeback kids. The Oakland Athletics had 44 regular season comeback wins. The comeback kids, and only the Yankees among the postseason teams have had more comeback wins than Oakland. But their biggest deficit they've overcome this year to this point was 4 runs.
Donaldson will send this into left field. Quentin Berry's over to play it. Donaldson's get something started for the A's. 7 in a row had been retired by Verlander prior to that base hit by Donaldson.
Now, Donaldson had the double in last night's game off Valverde to make it 2nd and 3rd and set up the game-tying double by Seth Smith. And here he starts off the 8th. This is a never say die ball club, and Donaldson gets it started.
First time in the game the A's have had the lead runner on. Brandon Moss, the batter. Moss has been on twice. Walk in the 2nd, singled in the 5th.
You can see nobody's stirring down in the Tigers bullpen. This is all Justin Verlander.
Runner goes. Moss swings and fouls it off.
Yeah, the Tigers weren't holding Donaldson on. Middle infielders didn't even cover. And Leland's trying to get Alex Avila's attention.
The 1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and it is 0-2. Verlander with 10 Ks, 1 walk. The 0-2 pitch. In the air to shallow left center field. Jackson and Berry coming together, and it's Austin Jackson who makes the catch for the first out.
Jackson took charge of that pop-up. Quentin Berry, the left fielder, called for it initially, and Jackson just called him off. He stayed with it and took charge, and that's his call. He's got priority in the outfield.
Johnny Gomes going to make an appearance here for the A's. Great fan favorite and team leader here for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity to get him an at-bat in this situation. He has been such an instrumental part, even though he's not an everyday player. The pride of Petaluma, just north of Oakland, gets a chance to get an at-bat and maybe spark a comeback. But more than anything, I think Bob Melvin is just wanting to make sure Johnny Gomes gets a chance to bat in this series.
See his numbers during the regular season. Bats for Derek Norris, the catcher. We'll finish this ALDS 1 for 12. He struck out twice tonight against Verlander. Gomes looks at strike one. Gomes returning to the American League this year after spending the past 3 years in the National League with the Reds and Nationals. Majority of his starts came as the A's DH. It's a high fly ball to left that'll bring Berry in from left field. 2 down in the inning. Well, it has been a terrific postseason so far right here on TBS, and tomorrow another great day. Orioles and Yankees will play Game 5 of that American League Division Series, and in the NLDS another Game 5. The Cardinals and Nationals, Game 1 at 5, Game 2 at 8:30, both Eastern times. What a terrific postseason it has been so far. Cliff Pennington will take strike one.
Pitching probables for that Yankee-Oriole game tomorrow. CC Sabathia against Jason Hamill. In the National League, Adam Wainwright will go up against Gio Gonzalez. So great pitching matchups in the final 2 Game 5s.
Pennington fouls it off, down 0-2. He is 0 for 2 in the game. Grounded to short, grounded to second. Lined into right field, a base hit. Donaldson will take second base on the single for Pennington. Solid contact there. And the A's have runners at first and second with 2 down.
First hit of the night for Cliff Pennington. This ball works its way out over the plate, and Pennington just drives it into right, trying to come inside with that fastball, and got away from Verlander. And Pennington's able to keep the inning alive.
First time the A's have had 2 runners on base in an inning tonight. The Bernie dance as Coco Crisp is at the plate. Coco an 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out in the first. It's grounded out twice since. Crisp will ground it softly right side, and Fonte goes to first. Inning over. The A's strand a pair. We're through 8 in Game 5. The Tigers have a 6-0 lead. So on to the 9th inning in Game 5 of the American League Division Series. It is 6-0. The Tigers on top of the A's. George Kataris takes over in behind the dish after Derek Norris was hit for by Johnny Gomes in the bottom of the 8th. And it is Quentin Berry to lead it off here for the Tigers in the top of the 9th inning. Berry's been on twice, a double and a walk. He's had a sacrifice bunt and a foul out. Is swing and miss for strike 1. Evan Scribner, who pitched a perfect 8th, is back out there for the 9th. They'll spread it around pretty good for the Tigers offensively, as that's a strike and it's 0-2. They have 9 hits in the game, and only Miguel Cabrera and Alex Avila do not have hits in the starting 9.
Prince Fielder picked up an RBI single in the 7th, part of that 4-run 7th inning.
Swing and a miss. The Scribner's looked very good since coming in. His 3rd K, 1 down in the 9th.
Scribner struck out Alex Avila and Omar Infante in the 8th, and he gets Quentin Berry to start the 9th. A good fastball with late movement down and away to Quentin Berry. Dave Dombrowski, the CEO and general manager of the Detroit Tigers, was anticipating a celebration last night, and you can bet he's not taking anything for granted after the way the A's came back and won it in the 9th last night.
Strike 2, and it's 0-2. Miguel Cabrera tonight has been contained. He is grounded out, flied out, grounded out, hit by a pitch, picked up an RBI because hit by the pitch with the bases loaded. His first RBI of this ALDS. Outside, not chasing, 1-2.
Oakland did a great job of really pitching Cabrera tough in Game 2. He had 3 hits and was on base 4 times in Game 2. But other than that, they have done a good job of neutralizing that potent bat.
Popped up, foul ground. Kataris discards the mask and will make the catch for the 2nd out of the 9th. 5 in a row retired by Evan Scribner, 2 down. Prince Fielder coming to the plate here in the 9th inning. Well, Justin Verlander tonight has gone the first 8 innings for the Tigers. 15 games this season. He's gone at least 8 innings. First career in the postseason. And at the end of 8, he's got 111 pitches. Nobody warming in the pen.
Nobody even thinking about warming up. They've all got their jackets on.
Nobody even stretching, just for good measure.
Yeah, this is all about Justin Verlander playing the role of the ace very effectively. Verlander had 6 complete games during the regular season.
Fielder after a 1-1 up the middle. Stephen Drew moves over. Sidearm toss in time, inning over. The Tigers are 3 outs away from moving on. They lead at 6-0. Tonight's Chevy player of the game is Justin Verlander, and Buck Martinez, he was outstanding tonight.
Well, he sure was. He won game number 1, 11 strikeouts tonight, 8 innings, 4 hits, 10 strikeouts again, and Verlander set the tone. A 13-pitch first inning tonight. He threw down the gauntlet and said, you know what, fellas, you're in for a tough night. He struck out the first 2 batters of the ballgame, Coco Crisp, Stephen Drew, and then retired Seth Smith on a comebacker, and he has done exactly what the Tigers needed tonight.
Here is Stephen Drew to lead it off in the 9th inning for the A's. And he fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. Some changes for the Tigers. Andy Dirks moves from right to left. Abisael Garcia takes over in right field. Defensive purposes here. for Jim Leland in the ninth. Drew looks at strike two. And Verlander trying to go all the way. The last complete game win for Detroit in the postseason. Got to go back to the '84 World Series and Jack Morris in Game 4.
Verlander, if he wins this, and obviously he's got a comfortable lead, he will become the first Tiger pitcher to win 2 games in a postseason series since Jack Morris in that '84 World Series.
This is popped up, foul ground as Avila comes back, but he will not have a play.
This is why the Tigers are feared in the postseason. Their starting pitching. Verlander, Pfister, Scherzer, they can all shut down anybody. And that's why they're so dangerous in the postseason series.
Their 3-4 combination in their lineup, despite what they've done in this series, also very impressive as well.
Yeah, and they've got a chance in a 7-game series to revert to what they did in the regular season.
Drew strikes out for the 4th time, and that is a new record, as that is 22 strikeouts in the division series. That's the most ever for a pitcher, as surpassing Cliff Lee and Kevin Brown is Justin Verlander. Cliff Lee 2010 in the Texas Tampa Bay series had 21, and Kevin Brown in '98 the Padres Astros series had 21, but Verlander now 22 strikeouts in his 2 starts in the ALDS. That's 11 in this game.
And Verlander's done a great job economizing on his pitches. He's only thrown 116 pitches, even factoring in the strikeouts. He's been impressive tonight.
Cespedes, one of only the 4 hits the A's have put together in the game tonight. He doubled in the first, and he'll chop one to short. Peralta's got it, his throw. 2 down in the ninth. Well, this magical season is an out away for ending for the A's. AL West champions. They trailed by 13 games back on June 30th. A's record without Cespedes 12-22. Malone and Parker with 13 wins each. An A's rookie record at 14 walk-off wins led Major League Baseball, and they had one in Game 4 a night ago. But the magic may come to an end for Bob Melvin and the A's.
94 win season, and they won the West by sweeping the Rangers in the final series of the year.
2 down in the ninth for Seth Smith, and he will take ball 1. The Tigers are trying to get to the American League Championship Series for the 3rd time in the last 7 years. Smith is grounded out, struck out twice. 1-0. Ground ball down the first baseline. It is a foul ball picked up by Prince Fielder.
Jim Leland looks calm, but I can tell you his stomach is churning, and he just took a deep breath right there and let out the tension. But he has the ultimate respect for this Oakland ball club, and they made it very tough on a veteran Tiger team, pushing it to a Game 5 by winning in walk-off fashion in Game 4.
1-1 to Seth Smith. Ground ball fouled again, and it's 1-2.
Jim Leland really acknowledged what this Oakland A's team did when he looked at their schedule late in the season. They played 17 of 20 on the road and went 12-8 during that stretch. So he knew they were going to be a tough opponent in this series.
Not one base runner has reached 3rd for the A's. Here's a ground ball right side. Omar Infante to first. The Detroit Tigers are headed to the American League Championship Series, and the magical season for the Oakland A's has come to an end. The Tigers will celebrate here in Oakland. A's coming out to salute their fans. What a run it was for Oakland, but it's the Tigers who are moving on.
A great series, well played by both ball clubs, but tonight Justin Verlander was the man. 6 complete games during the regular season, and the biggest complete game of his season tonight here in Oakland as he shut down the A's dramatically on just 4 hits. He established a new strikeout record for the division series, and the run has come to an end, and the Tigers will advance and take on the winner of the Yankees-Orioles Game 5 tomorrow night.
The complete game shutout, the last shutout. Joe Coleman, 72 ALCS for the Tigers, and that was against Oakland as well. And a moment here for Jim Leland and Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder wasn't signed by the Tigers until late in January after Victor Martinez suffered a season-ending knee injury. Mike Ellis, the owner of the Tigers, stepped up, paid big money to bring in Fielder, and now they have taken the first step in their drive toward the World Series.
Dave Dombrowski can finally celebrate after anxious moments last night and a crushing defeat in Game 4.
Well, they all know how difficult it is to win a division first, then a division series, and you're playing against the best in baseball. And there was a lot of magic in this Oakland A's season this year.
Let's send it down to Jamie Maggio with Justin Verlander.
All right, thank you, Don. Justin, a complete game shutout, another dominating performance for you. But what was the difference in the first innings in Game 1 versus tonight?
You know, just kind of getting the feeling of what this playoff experience is like, kind of getting those under your belt and just realizing how your body's going to react. It was a bit different here. These fans were, you can hear them now, just absolutely amazing. This is a really tough place to play, and the fans made it that way, and Oakland played great. But we won.
How much were you relying on your changeup tonight?
You know, I saw it pretty early. It was pretty good. And with as many left-handers as they have in this lineup, I was hoping it'd be good. So you know, I could tell with Coco that he saw fastball out of my hand and took a bad swing the first time I threw it. So just knew from there on it'd probably be pretty good.
Tigers advance to the ALCS for the 2nd year in a row. Why does this team have a better chance?
Because we're a team. You know, we've had our backs against the wall all year. You know, and we're playing our best baseball now when it matters.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. Celebration beginning in the clubhouse for the Tigers. Well deserved.
Here's the final line score for this evening's game, ladies and gentlemen. The Detroit Tigers, 9 hits, no errors.
The final out of this complete game shutout for Justin Verlander and the Detroit Tigers, who head to the ALCS for the 3rd time in the last 7 years. Tigers are headed to the American League Championship Series.
So many contributors to this effort this season, of course. Cabrera and Fielder got the attention. Cabrera with the Triple Crown, Verlander the ace of the staff, and you can see the reaction. No matter how many times you've been through this, it's special to know that you've made it one more time to the next level of the playoffs. The Tigers thought they were going to have this celebration last night, but the A's spoiled that party. But Justin Verlander took control of this game in the 1st inning, and he was on the mound for the final out.
So the Tigers will wait to see who they'll play next. Game 5 to be played between the Orioles and Yankees tomorrow. the Tigers can celebrate tonight and get ready for the American League Championship Series, which will start on Saturday. So a quick turnaround for either the Orioles or the Yankees for these Tigers.
Yeah, a dramatic turnaround, and obviously with the season ending on Wednesday this year, you knew that Game 5 possibility in the Yankees-Orioles series would set up a quick turnaround. But nobody's complaining if they can advance to the American League Championship Series, that's for sure.
Well, our producer tonight, Jeff Randolph, director John Moore, associate director Bert Bondi, associate producer Joe Castellano, production assistants Dave Corris and Donzel Floyd, production manager Danielle Carnes. We're back with more from Oakland after this.
The League Division Series on TBS is brought to you by State Farm. For home, auto, life, and banking, get to a better state. By Miller 64. Returning to fitness with beer as my witness. By Samsung Galaxy S3. The next big thing is already here. And by Bank of America.
The pitch. There's a swing. A long, high fly ball deep to left field. Goodbye. A grand slam for Buster Posey.
3-2. And a drive hit deep to left field. Looking up, way back. It's gone. Jason Worth in dramatic fashion.
Here it comes. Fly ball left field. Pretty well hit. Ichiro goes back, and that ball is off the wall. The Orioles will have the lead, 2-1 Baltimore.
The scene in Oakland right now, this is the idea. Celebrate and move on. Justin Verlander, the hero for the Detroit Tigers tonight, and putting the wraps on a dramatic day around the major leagues. 4 games. All unique, all interesting in their own way. If you think about it, guys, we had a grand slam. We had a pitcher's duel that ended in a walk-off, extra innings in the Bronx, and a dominant shutout in Oakland for the Detroit Tigers. And with all that said, we welcome you inside our Atlanta studio for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. I'm Matt Weiner, of course, with a couple of guys who've been through a celebration or two of their own inside Major League clubhouses, David Wells and Dennis Eckersley. Wow, a little of everything.
Wow, I'll tell you what, everything's gone 5 games. I mean, you saw the ending with San Francisco beating Cincinnati, but everything else goes 5 games. You can't get it any better for Major League Baseball, and this playoff system has went as good as they ever thought it would.
Favorite moment today?
This last game. We're going to Detroit.
We are going to
Detroit. We're going
Somebody's going hunting.
Somebody's going hunting. But
and
yeah,
for the first time in the history of the Division Series round, all 4 series have gone to 5 games, which means we have a doubleheader tomorrow. We're on the air sharp at 4:30 Eastern Time. MLB On Deck, presented by Dodge Dart. Then it's Game 5 plus Game 5. O's and Yankees from the Bronx, Cards and Nationals from the nation's capital, and of course inside MLB. Let's get to it. Tigers and the A's. There's the man. Second time around for Justin Verlander against the rookie Jared Parker. Verlander took the first one. Austin Jackson doubled the center to get things started for the Tiger offense in the third. Omar Infante will score it.
And as soon as this ball one hops the wall, you're thinking Verlander's got 1 run to work with, trouble.
And now he's got 2. That's a wild pitch. Get this. The first time 3 runs have scored via wild pitches in a single postseason series since the 1911 World Series.
Wow.
Verlander wasn't pitching then, but he was that kind of guy. He would have pitched 400 innings.
Swing and a miss.
Struck out 1 million people.
I mean, how do you bet against this guy? I mean, when he's going to go, you know he's dangling there, hovering for the last game of the series, and here he comes. He's got a 2-0 lead. He came out of the gate punching out 2 guys and a weak ground ball back to him. He ends up punching out what, 11 guys? I mean, you talk about 21 punch-outs in this series. It was all about Verlander.
Detroit's not averse to a little more offense, and they get it in the 7th. Omar Infante with the knock to right center. And that would be it for Jared Parker. Didn't pitch poorly, he just pitched against Justin Verlander.
No, and he pitched, I mean, he was the igniter for that Detroit team. He's come up with some big hits throughout this series.
Jackson's back up, he contributes again. Off the glove of Cliff Pennington, and Peralta scores, it's 3-0. The insurance run starting to pile up for Detroit. Ryan Cook is on. And Cook couldn't get Quentin Berry. Loads the bases with the walk, and the dangerous Miguel Cabrera has been pretty quiet in the series is up. He hits him to bring in another run, 4-0.
They're taking into anything. They're just taking whatever they can get, lean into stuff. That's how you get it, because when you have your ace on the mound like that, you think one's good. How about 4, Eck?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this season just sort of evaporated right here in a hurry. You see Coco playing deep once again. Fielder drops one in, another run scores. They hit a line drive, gets into left field. They're going one at a time, just sort of just breaking their necks slowly.
And if you're an A's fan, this is kind of when you had to figure it wasn't your night. That ball right through Stephen Drew off the bat of Delman Young. Barry scores now. It's 6-0. And oh, by the way, Justin Verlander's coming out for the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th.
Well, after last night, you know he was going to go 9. He's going to be the starter and the closer, provided he got a comfortable lead. But, you know, game situation, Leland isn't touching him one bit.
You know, the A's, they can't even get a sniff. I mean, you know, not even a sniff. And, you know, when he took them out in the 9th inning, everybody was just waiting for this game to be over so they can, you know, sort of appreciate what the A's done all year. This team has been absolutely incredible. But he just put him down. Ground ball, second base. This is over. You talk about 2 wins in a 5-game series. I mean, there's no MVPs in the division series, but he'd be the guy if there was.
And folks, this is why general managers and managers crave these kinds of aces, because in a 5-game series, you can throw him at a team twice.
Well, that's why you're afraid of him in the next series. I mean, they've got some good pitching. I don't know if they can get it done offensively, but they did in this game.
Well, how about next year? The A's got, you know, they got 5 young kids that are going to be capable of doing a lot of things.
Verlander with a shutout as he shuts down the A's. 4 hits, 11 strikeouts. His first complete game in 10 postseason starts, and it ends the A's 8-game home win streak. Here's Bob Melvin in the aftermath.
Bob, this obviously was just Verlander, about as good as anybody sees him. That was your assessment as well?
Pretty much. You know, we felt like Parker was really good too. You know, they nicked him up, got a couple of pitches up, scored a couple runs off him early. But, you know, when Verlander gets on a roll like he was today, especially once he gets into his rhythm, you get into the middle innings and he's rolling along pretty good. It's tough to stop him. It's like a locomotive going at a high speed. So he was tough to deal with. Unfortunately, he had really good stuff tonight and carried it all the way through the 9th.
It's a tall order with Verlander out there. He's the first pitcher in big league history to strike out 11 batters in each of his first 2 starts of a single postseason. An ALDS, or I should say a division series record, 22 strikeouts over the 2 starts. You know, everybody knows about the fastball. What else makes him effective?
Well, his action on his changeup, it dives so down so good. I mean, that's just incredible. When you're geared up to hit 97 and you get one of these firms that just falls right off the table, I mean, how do you hit it? You're so far out in front of on your front foot, you're just going to lunge at it, and that's what makes this guy effective. But the thing is, he could bring it even more as the game goes on. So basically, you don't stand a chance when he's on.
You watch this punch-out package.
You watch it.
I am. I'm watching it. You talk about gas, hook off the table, change up anytime. You know, he tunes it up sometimes 95. If he wants, he can get it up to a yard. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's a bean, and it's insane what he can do. I mean, and to watch it happen, you know, you talk about Bob Melvin, watch him saying it's like a locomotive. Here he comes, and it's got to be awful to watch that happening because they know their season is just sort of falling in front of their face. And after last night, that all the energy that was in that ballpark, as soon as you got down 2-0, everybody knew that this was going to be a tough task.
Prince Fielder's headed back to the championship series round for the 2nd straight year, albeit with a new team. Jamie Maggio caught up with Prince and guests.
All right, thank you. Here with Prince Fielder and family. First, give us some introductions here, Prince.
This is Jaden. This is Haven.
Nice to meet you guys. Hey, congratulations, Prince. You know, a lot of expectations on this team heading into this season. How were you able to finally fulfill that? It's not been an easy road.
No, it hasn't, but, you know, all you can do is keep playing hard and see what happens. You know, that's all you can really do.
In a Game 5 situation, an elimination game, is there anyone else you'd want on the hill besides Justin Verlander?
No, he's the man. He's the man. He's our guy. So, you know, if we have one game to play, he's the one I want pitch.
How important is it for the bottom half of the lineup to produce offensively the way that they did tonight?
Oh, you know, it's very important because, you know, I think that's what good teams do. You know, it's all 9 guys. Hello, baby. All 9 guys, and you know, that's the way to win. So I'm just glad we're doing it.
Goggles are a good look for you, Prince.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Jamie, this time of year, the goggles are a good look for just about anybody. And remember, Prince Fielder was kind of hanging out there in free agency really late in the game for a player of his caliber until Victor Martinez was lost for the season. Detroit swooped in with a big offer, and they've got him, and they're pretty happy about it. Miguel Cabrera with a triple crown, thanks in large part to Fielder hitting behind him, and now a trip to the American League Championship Series. And as you look ahead to this team, Verlander's not going to be the Game 1 starter. They probably only get 2 starts out of him, no matter who the opponent is. How do you like their prospects?
Well, they are as dangerous as their pitching takes them, and as you see, their pitching is pretty good. Their offense, you know, it's suspect at times, but the thing is, they got 3 pretty good pitchers that are going to go out there and get you depth, and that's what they need is depth, because once they start using that bullpen, you know, we've seen in this series that it can be iffy at times as well, but I like the fact that when you have 3 guys that can take you deep into the game, then you have a really, really good chance because anything can happen at that time.
Verlander, Scherzer, who was very good in Game 4, and Pfister, who seems like the likely candidate for the Game 1 start in the ALCS.
And Sanchez, if you think about it, because they're going to have to use him because they can't get to Verlander right away. I agree with everything. I mean, their bullpen is suspect. You saw Benoit, you know, a little iffy, and obviously Valverde gave it up. Albuquerque kissed the ball. He won't be kissing any balls anytime soon. But offensively, you know, you saw Cabrera wasn't really a factor in this series. I think Fielder hit a couple home run and a couple big hits. But ultimately, they're going to have to get it out of Jackson and you know, and Young and down the lineup there, Avila and Peralta. They're the ones that are going to have to show up. But this club has been playing tough for the last month of the season. I mean, they had to chase Chicago. So they've been in this thing, and they've been up against it. Once again, the A's gave them a scare. But going forward, I don't know who they're going to play. I mean, I'm thinking New York, Baltimore, you know, either way, they're going to have a shot because of that pitching.
As for the Oakland A's, they became the 5th team in Major League history to overcome a 13-game deficit to win a division or a league, but it all ends tonight on their home field. You know, they did get, if you look at the format this year, which changed 2 to 3, they wound up getting that Game 5 at home. Do you think there was an effect from coming back 0-2 because instead of having home field, they wound up starting on the road?
Well, they've been doing it for so long towards the end of the season, so it's pretty much come accustomed to them. There's no quitting that team. They're a young team, so they're very, very energetic. But to me, it's something that, I mean, these guys are going to be a scary team as long as providing they've been doing that. Of course, you're not going to be able to do it all the time, but, you know, what they have out there and what Bob Melvin has brought to the table with these kids. But, you know, I think the key is Chili Davis is what he's done for that hitting. I mean, Chili Davis is a really good hitting coach, and to me, he's going to find the swing that's right for these guys. He's going to make sure that they work on things, and you see how many bombs they hit this year. But so give credit to those 2 guys and good things to come for them for a long time.
So many good things happened to the A's. I mean, nobody will ever really forget this club. I mean, if they would have went deeper, it would have been even more, you know, unforgettable. But they hit on so many different avenues, so many players, whether it's a trade to get Reddick and all these young pitchers. The problem with them is they're in the wrong division. You got Texas and the Angels who are loaded, and for them to have this kind of year was incredible, the way that they ended this thing. But once again, they've got all that young pitching, and the bullpen and those starters. I mean, you go right down the line, and you know, Cespedes was a great deal there. You see what Coco Christ has meant to this club. And Reddick will be out there. I mean, they're going to mix and match. Billy Beane's a genius at what he does. He will do it again. But there was something magical about this year that got away from him. They should have went farther.
They're done. The Tigers move on, and they'll begin the American League Championship Series Saturday, either in New York or at Comerica Park in Detroit. First, however, they need an opponent, and thanks to J.J. Hardy, we are no closer to finding out who that is.
Fly ball left field. Pretty well hit. Ichiro goes back, and that ball is off the wall. The Orioles will have the lead, 2-1 Baltimore.